Putco plans to be fully operational by Monday. This after the dismissal of over 100 drivers who took part in a wildcat strike. The bus company won a court bid yesterday to move striking drivers from outside its offices in Johannesburg. It says this disrupted their working environment. eNCA's Nqobile Madlala has the latest on this and joins us now. Nqobile, I can only imagine that it must be very difficult for those drivers who have been dismissed. In an earlier interview during the week, they said, well, if that's the only way that Putco sees this going forward, let them be dismissed. They've been dismissed before, they've handled things, and they're ready for what's coming. But what's the mood among drivers today?
Well, I think they're coming to terms with the fact that they've lost their jobs. Over 100 people have lost their jobs, and it can't be easy. When I was speaking to them, they said, Anli, that this is a very difficult time, that they were waiting to lose their jobs. They understood that when they started, this could potentially mean that they will lose their jobs. But, I mean, it's only sinking in now, if you think about it. Now they have no income. And we know unemployment is not the easiest of things that you can be, going from the point where you can get money and now you can't. But what they are adamant about, though, Anli, is that they are not going to move from that gate, whether there is an interdict or not. They're saying that they want their money, and before they leave, they need to be given their bonuses and that 6% that they've been fighting for. They still do feel that the company does not want to engage with them directly. You will remember that they took to court, even speaking to the unions that were not even part of the protest. I mean, even interdicting them and saying that they must go speak to their people. But they're saying at this point, they still feel that the company, and as they work, the company does not speak to them directly. So as much as they are hearing that they are now dismissed, and they're saying that they got messages that they have been dismissed via an SMS, they haven't yet signed anything. But before they sign, they want their money.
Nqobile, has Putco put any measures in place to ensure that operations resume? 105 drivers, presumably that's going to eat into their capacity to keep buses on the road.
They're saying that they're ready. You know, it's obviously not going to be 100%, but they're saying that they are ready. They're saying that they are going to put measures in place. I think one thing they've focused more on is the threats that they have received on the road, thinking that perhaps the drivers could also go onto the road and maybe disturb those that want to work. So they are getting ready. They're gearing up. They're getting security. They also have SAPS that's parked inside. They just want to ensure that there is safety for the people that are driving, so for the workers that are going back. Now, you remember the workers that are going back are about 900, 400 of whom had submitted their own papers and 500 that were submitted for by the trade unions. Now they're saying that they want to ensure that there's safety for those people and that there's safety for passengers. But what's interesting about what's coming on Monday is that the drivers have made it clear that they are going to still go back, and this is 105 people. If you think about it, it's quite a large number, so how they're going to control it remains to be seen. But these guys are not backing down. So whether Putco says that they have the police and the security, if it's going to work for them, we'll only find out on Monday.
Nqobile, speaking to the drivers and getting a sense from them that they're going through a difficult time, and given that they're determined to stay and camp outside those gates and make their stand, and that there is very likely a conflict that may ensue on Monday if Putco has got a court interdict and calls the police in to assist them, which they're entitled to do in this circumstance, we could see conflict. Do these drivers feel that it's been worth it, that they might be arrested, and even if they are arrested, that it would still be worth it?
Well, just to paint a picture for you, Anli, some of these drivers are coming as far as Eastern Cape, as far as KZN. They're not just working for themselves, they're working for the family. When I was speaking to them earlier on, this is before today, they were talking about the fact that families are asking, why is it that you're sending us such little money? So it's not just fighting for themselves, it's for the mere fact that they have to make a stand for their families. But at the same time, they're saying that there are people that are coming into Putco that are coming in with very little money on contract, and they don't want those people to be exposed to what they've been exposed to. So they're not just making a stand for themselves, they're making a stand for the people that are yet to come after them, because they're saying that this is needed. But also they have this idea that Putco does have have the money. Now, we heard from Nqobile Madlala, who was explaining that the financials do not match up. Now, these drivers say the same thing, that the financials do not match up. They say that they don't have money, but we can see that there is money. This is why when we heard from Nqobile, she was calling out from the Department of Transport that they must intervene. And we haven't seen the Department of Transport coming down and also intervening, because not only are these drivers affected, we're seeing the passengers who are also affected. I mean, we've seen them walk in and walk out and asking for refund, and there hasn't been any refund. So what happens on Monday if they say they resume the operations and nothing, and these drivers stand in front of the operation? What happens to the passengers? So they get caught in the middle. So these drivers are aware that there's a lot that they are fighting for, but at the same time you can tell that it's very surreal for them. They are getting to that point where you can see that they're cracking. They're wishing that there were ways that they could fix this. But more than anything, they keep saying the same thing. If you give us our money, we would be more than happy to go back. But there is no going back now.
Very difficult, complex situation. Thank you very much for that update. eNCA's Nqobile Madlala bringing us that story from Putco bus drivers, 105 of them who now find themselves unemployed and yet determined to stand outside those gates asking for what is owed to them.